Good morning, Facebook Live. Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon. Whenever you're tuning in, I am going live at just after 7 a.m. on Friday, June 25th. 25th, yeah, June 25th. Wow, another month gone already. I'm in my office here at Aroma Time. So I'm just grabbing something off my phone here. But I threw out a guest last night. I'm going to talk about that experience, throwing out a guest. I've thrown out a few guests over the years, being in business since 2018. There have been some guests that I've asked to leave, and it happened again last night. I explained to this person that their night is over. Your night is over, and your check's coming to you, and you can be on your way. So I'm going to talk about that. Yesterday, we sent out an email. And I actually had people stop me and thank me for this message. So the title was about jazz in the garden and a small message from Jamie and I. And the message was, remember, while restaurants are 100% open, most of them are nowhere near 100% staffed. Everyone is doing the best they can. Please be patient anywhere you go and speak to a manager if you have a complaint. Going to an online review site to bash only makes the situation worse. If you recently had a great experience at any restaurant, write them a quick review. If you had a bad experience, call the manager. If it was our restaurant, then call me, and here's my phone number. So, put that message in our email yesterday. Just a note from Jamie and I called it. And people were like, wow, thank you for that. People actually said, I appreciate you saying that. And then, of course, most people said, if you're miserable, don't go out to eat. I got to tell you, we've had some really bad reviews lately, and maybe some of them might be justified to a certain extent, but to go online and bash me and give me 2 stars and saying that weeds in my back garden are my decoration. If you've been in my back garden, you know that there's planters back there, there's flowers, there's a little waterfall back there with koi in it, the goldfish pond, koi pond. There's flowers everywhere. Somebody actually went online and said the back garden is dingy. The backspace in the restaurant is dingy, and there's decoration for weeds. We have a mosquito pond. So, folks, restaurants did everything they could to do outdoor dining when we were allowed to do outdoor dining, because that was the only way, or really the main way, that restaurants could make money was from outdoor dining. We've had a garden for years back there, but we never really used it. But if you know my back garden, yeah, there might be weeds growing here or there, but that's not our decoration weeds. We have a great back garden. Everybody loves the back garden. So that was a couple weeks ago. That review came in, but I've noticed that people are just really like having major attitudes lately, and it's becoming more and more prevalent. Folks, don't go out if you're going to be miserable. Don't go out and make restaurants bend over backwards for you and expect this. Things are not the same. Staffing is hard to get. We're fortunate. I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, like, we have a lot of catering coming up, and I was getting really nervous, really nervous. And things are working out okay, but like I'm in a few minutes, I'm getting in the kitchen after my run here, and I'm grinding it out. We have a big catering lunch party. We have 2 parties tomorrow. We have 2 parties on Sunday. We just got asked to. We booked a party up in the Finger Lakes, a really good high-end VIP event that's going to put us in front of a lot of international wine writers at a great event. That it's just in proximity and being there is going to be great for us, and something I don't want to turn down. But there's, like, Jamie literally came back. We came back from the Finger Lakes, and Jamie had 6 contracts on her desk that she had to get out last night to guests, catering jobs. So, I mean, it is crazy. And a lot of these, not a lot, but a few of these catering jobs, the people are so cheap, and they beat you up and beat you up and beat you up over price. They tell you what they want. You give them, say, here you go. A lot of people don't realize that prices have skyrocketed on food. Like, it's not just like, oh, like it's summertime, meat's gone up 10 or 20%. No, things are doubling. Even cooking oil is doubling. So it's really insane what's happening. And the price is the price. We can't control the price. People don't understand that, so they get rude and nasty about that too. But we had a situation yesterday that a young lady came in, and it was her second visit in about a week. Yeah, it was her second visit in a week. And she came on Father's Day. and she sat down in the back garden, because that's all we're doing is the back garden. So right now, we're only doing the back garden unless it's inclement weather, unless it's pouring rain, things like that. Then we'll have you inside. But people walk into the dining room, and if you don't have a reservation, some people will be like, I want to sit inside. Well, I'm sorry, we're not sitting inside. We're only seating outside. Now, when you walk into the street, we have 2 tables out front. If you've never been to the restaurant, you don't know I have a back garden with 18 tables and we can seat 50 people back there, 60. We have no idea that. So your first impression walking in is, well, there's 2 tables outside. Nobody's sitting at them because we try to do out back. I walk into a restaurant and nobody's in the restaurant. And why can't, but you see staff running around. Why can't I sit in the restaurant? People get nasty with this. I'm like, I'm sorry, but we don't have enough staff, kitchen staff. So my kitchen's not big enough. I never turned my light on this morning. But the lighting's fine in here, isn't it? There we go. My ring light. So right away, their first impression is like, well, what's wrong with this place, right? So we have to explain to them, we're only doing seating outside, but that puts them in a bad mood. Then once they walk outside, they see like, oh, wow, like this place is packed and busy, and they're rocking and rolling, and there's some cute little garden back here, right? Fire pit, tent, waterfall, koi fish pond. This is great, but that first impression is like, well, what do you mean I can't sit inside? Like, there's 3 of you running around the restaurant right now. Nobody's here. Like, what's wrong with you people? And sometimes that right there, that first impression, will turn people off where they don't have a good meal at all, a good experience at all. And now you have to put all this extra care into them. It happened last night with one table, and I told our team members, said, you've got to now turn their image around. They're going to sit outside, now you got to turn their image around and make sure that you spend extra time with them. So this young lady comes in last week. She sits down. She monopolizes one of our team members' time, like monopolizes, asking these intricate, in-depth questions and wants to know if she can have this, this, and this. And finally, Alex, our team member, she came to me. She goes, Marcus, I can't spend any more time with this lady. Like, I can't. Like, it's Father's Day. We're busy. So I go to the table and I'm inundated with her questions and particularities. And right, I can answer all the questions. And I make her special food. We modify the menu, this, and this. And, and she has a good time. She has a good time. And she leaves 0 tip. She leaves 0 tip. During my conversation with her, she tells me that she's quit her PhD with Yale and that she's now registered at the Culinary Institute of America. She wants to be a chef, and she has all these questions for me about chef life and staffing and what people all these. So I'm happy to answer because I don't mind mentoring students, culinary students at all. I don't mind, and I taught for a while at Sullivan County. I was an adjunct there, and I don't mind that at all. So, I'm trying to be nice, but she monopolizes my time. And one of the bad reviews I got from Father's Day was the owner was paying attention to this lady's table and basically like spending all this time with this lady, but she was monopolizing our time. So, in a sense, I was actually letting my staff, our team members, take care of their tables while I took care of her because she's asking such intricate questions and all this stuff at the end of it, she didn't tip. I'm like, that's just a crappy move, not to tip. And she's going to the culinary industry. She's going to school. That's crap. Well, she walks back in last night. And the staff's like, Marcus, she's here. And I know what that means. As soon as they say she's here, I was like, okay, I know who's here. And my whole staff is like, I don't want to take her. All of my team members are like, we don't want to take her. Like we don't want to be put through that again and not get a tip on top of it. So she sat down. I went to the table and said hi. She said, "Oh, sit down with me." I said, "No, I'm really busy. I'm in the kitchen. I'm running back and forth," which I was in the kitchen that day on Father's Day. I was in the kitchen expediting, calling all the tickets and making sure the food was flowing. But then I got stuck out with her. And then guests complained that service was slow and that I wasn't working. Guests actually went online, gave me a 2-star review, said that the owner wasn't working, was spending all the time with this single lady. It's crazy because they have no perspective of really what's going on. These people should really jump into my kitchen and see what's really going on. So I say to her, I said, "Oh, welcome back," and this and that. She goes, "Oh, sit down with me." I said, I don't have time to sit down. I'm in the kitchen. I'm running around. I just got back from the Finger Lakes. I'm busy, but I said, I just wanted to ask you, was everything okay last week? She was, yeah. I said, well, you didn't leave a gratuity. And so my staff was really concerned that something was wrong with the service or with the meal. She goes, oh, no, everything was fine. She goes, I went to the bathroom, I came back and everything was off my table, so I couldn't leave a tip. Lie right there. Total lie right there. I watched her walk from her table out the back door. I watched this. So she lied. I'm like, you're lying to me right now. You're totally lying to me. And she goes, and of course, if you wanted to leave a tip, you would have called the next day and said, I forgot to leave a tip. I give a credit card and leave a tip? So then she goes, well, that's why I'm back tonight. I'm like, oh, that's why you're back tonight. She goes, yeah, that's why I'm back tonight. I'm like, so I'm thinking, okay, you're back because you didn't leave a tip before. Now you're going to eat again and leave a double tip is what I'm thinking. So I'm like, okay, let me give her the benefit of the doubt on that one. I like that line. Let me give her the benefit of the doubt. You drove all the way back. Her license plates, I saw her from New Jersey. She probably just moved into the area to go to the culinary. She doesn't start until September, so she's probably spending 2 months up here to relax, find herself, do something, I don't know, bother restaurants. So she orders through one of our team members, Patrick, some special orders, half order of this, whatever. So Patrick comes to me after she gets her ribeye steak. And he's like, she's complaining this ribeye steak is medium well. I looked at the steak and I said, Patrick, that's not medium well. That's medium. Short and medium rare. Our staff is instructed to tell you to cut through the dead center of the steak, because when you cook a steak, right, the center part cooks different than the edges. So our staff members will always instruct you, please cut through the center. Because if you cut the tiny edge of the edge, it's well done. Then as you start going in, you get to the temperature, your desired temperature, hopefully. All right, that's the plan. So he asked her to cut through the center, and she goes, I just know that it's medium well. She goes, I just know that. You just know that. Okay, so she goes, do you trust your chef to cook a ribeye steak? Especially like, well, I'll get you another steak on right away. And she goes, do you trust your chef to cook a ribeye steak? And she goes, I think I want the salmon. Do you trust your chef to cook the salmon? This is what she's saying. It's a busy night, too. It's a busy night. Do you trust your chef to cook a steak? Do you trust your chef? Granted, we're not perfect and we do overcook things. We do that, but most of the time we're pretty on, okay? And so things do happen, where things do get overcooked, undercooked, whatever. Speak Up will fix it. So I look at the steak. I cut through the dead center of it. It's beautiful medium rare. It is picture perfect medium rare. I put it on a plate. I take it back to her, and I go, this steak is perfectly medium rare. She goes, that's not my steak. I said, this is your steak. I go, this is your steak. When you cut through the center of it, it's perfect medium rare. Perfect. Only the edge part was medium, and it was pink. The edge was pink. I said, when you cut through, it's perfect medium rare. And the table next to me, I could see the two tables next to me saw totally what was going on. And I looked at her and I said, do you know what? I said, I'm not getting any more food. Your night is over. I'll get your bill to you. Your night's over here. I'm not cooking you any more food. And we brought her bill, took the ribeye off, of course. Should have kept it on there. It's just ridiculous. I charged her for the asparagus and bread, whatever else she had. And I said, there you go. Your night's over. And it took her about 10 minutes to get up and leave. And, of course, no tip again. 0 tip again. So she didn't even make up for last time, like I thought she was going to, or that she led on that she was going to. And I watch her walk down the street. I'm like, okay, where's she going to eat? So I watched her. She walked in. I called and I said, FYI, I just kicked her out of my restaurant. She's been here twice. She hasn't tipped. She's a culinary student next month and then the summer. She thinks she's a food writer, a food critic. She's one of those people. And the owner of the restaurant goes, okay, thanks, Marcus. 20 minutes later, she's walking down the restaurant, down the street to our parking lot to her car. So I call. I said, what happened? He goes, she came in and asked us the most ridiculous questions, the most intense, ridiculous questions she asked us. He goes, so we ignored her. We totally ignored her, and she left on her own. So hopefully somebody like that is actually going to understand and get it, right? Like you're joining the culinary field. You're going to the CIA. Don't go to restaurants and make them miserable, not tip. And it's fine to get into a conversation with the owner and look up to the owner and this and that and be inspired and this and that. but be a decent person on top of it, right? Be a decent person. She could have said, "Oh, can I call you on Monday? I'd like to talk more about the restaurant industry and this and that and whatever." Perfectly fine. Or called me ahead of time, say, "Hey, I want to come in on Thursday night. I'd love to sit down with you for a few minutes and talk to you more in depth, this and that." But don't say is you. She will never get it. Dave's saying she'll never get it. 2 restaurants, 0 for 2. You're out of 2 restaurants on the same night. So, folks, restaurants are understaffed right now. We work a lot with our team. I posted something last week like, "You're fired." Instead of firing people, you work with people. We've hired people that really aren't qualified, but we have to work with them. Because if we fired everybody who wasn't qualified or who screwed up, Jamie and I'd be running around ragged. There's so many restaurants right now that I hear that are at their busiest times ever, shortest staff ever, and they're closing. Just found out a friend in the Midwest yesterday has to close a day because they can't handle the volume. They can't handle the volume. The staff can't handle it. We're closed 2 days a week. We've always been closed. For years, we were open 7 days. Then we went to 6 days. We were open 7 days, and we went open to 6 days. And last year in the pandemic, we were busting our butts here. Jamie and I said, close Tuesday, Wednesdays. Close both days. We've looked at each other, Jamie and I, and like, we're not opening Tuesday, Wednesdays again. That's our weekend. Those are our 2 days. We get to go hiking. We get to go cycling. We get to work in our office if we want to work. We get to take a catering party if we want to, and we typically don't. We get to go watch our son play baseball. We get to go have dinner with friends. We get to do that and not have to worry about a single thing in the restaurant and somebody calling in sick and this and that. It's we have peace of mind. And those 2 days off for us are fantastic peace of mind. I'd rather make less money and know that's what's happening. Because honestly, to have a full staff on here is a stretch. For any restaurant, it's a stretch right now. And my time is more valuable. And for somebody to even question me, do you think your chef's qualified to cook ribeye steak, or qualified? Do you trust your chef to cook the salmon? Get out of my restaurant at that point. When I heard that was like my tipping point. When she said that and Patrick told me that, I was furious. I was like, that's my tipping point. I looked at Patrick and said, I'll go take care of it. And the staff thanked me. They're like, thank you so much. Thank you so much for getting rid of her. We don't want to deal with her, And of course, again, she left 0 tip, and she didn't eat either. So she had to go find somewhere else to eat. So, folks, go out to eat, enjoy yourself, enjoy the moment. If you have a problem at any restaurant, and if it's at my restaurant, call me. I will fix it. I will totally fix it. It does no good going online and saying that weeds are my decoration. I have a mosquito. But and the person, I actually spoke to this person on the phone because I left my phone number for them to call me on the review. They go, I just wanted you to know that. You should know these couple of things. I said, well, now the whole world knows. They think that I have a weed farm in the back that I'm raising free range weeds as decoration, which is not the case. Far from the case. If you had a problem, you could have called me. You can pick it up. In fact, we have these surveys that we put comment cards at the end of the meal. You get a comment card. Tell us what we did right. Tell us what we did wrong. Then we have a QR code. Fill out the survey. So these people just bypass this kind of stuff and go online. Look, we've gotten some really bad reviews lately, and it's just like, this is insane. We've gotten some fantastic reviews, like fantastic. So it's odd how one person, one table can walk out, thank you so much. We can't wait to come back. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The food was amazing. And the next table that sits next to them leaves and has the worst experience ever. It's like 2 kids that grew up in the same family, right? 2 kids that grew up in the same family. The one child has the best childhood ever, and the other child, my parents suck, this sucks, I have issues, I have to go to counseling, I had the worst childhood ever. It's the same exact concept. It's the same environment, right? Same environment. It's just how you internalize things and how you deal with things. And, I wish we could rate people back. On Airbnb, you can rate people back. So you can say, hey, this person is not a good guest, and I would not recommend them in my home or your home if you're another Airbnb host. So you can actually rate them back. But, most people, when they do these ratings, they get 0 for communication, 0 stars for communication, because they lie to your face and say, everything was great. And they're like boiling inside. And I can't wait, I'll get home and start typing my review, and they're on their phone, 1 star on Yelp. And they look at you and say, everything was fantastic. Thank you, great. And they walk out the door and they do that right to your face. 1 star for communication, 5 stars for being a liar, 5 stars for being a liar, 5 stars for being an actor and totally pretending that everything was fine. I wish we could rate people back and do that. And just like communication, like communicate. Don't hide. We blame this younger generation for hiding behind our phones. Folks, a lot of adults do that too. A lot of adults hide behind their phone and, oh, nobody knows my name on Yelp, so I'm going to go bash this place, right? Which is doing no good. It's doing no good for anything. And, it's like one of those things when like people say, oh, money brings out your true character. Being anonymous on Yelp brings out your true character. Communicate. And then if they don't do anything at that point, then go online and give them a bad rating. But give them a chance. No restaurant owner, no restaurant manager, no wait staff wakes up in the morning and says, who am I going to piss off today? No cook goes, whose burger am I going to overcook today? Whose ribeye steak am I going to undercook and piss off so they walk out of here and go right a 1 star? Nobody says that. Nobody says that. They all come here to work. They work hard, especially my staff. My staff works hard. They all come here. They're anxious to work. They work hard. And they deserve the opportunity to fix something. We're humans. If you want something that's consistent and the same over and over, and go to McDonald's. I haven't been to McDonald's in 20 years, but I can tell you, even McDonald's made mistakes in the past. Fries too salty, not enough salt in the fries. I literally have not stepped into McDonald's in 20 years except to use the bathroom. But even things like that get screwed up. But here's the biggest thing that I find. The people who are having bad experiences, it's not that my food's bad, or if you're another restaurant, or that your food's bad. It's not what they were expecting. It's not what they were expecting to eat or have. Like one of my comments was like, oh, the pizza had thin crust on it. Well, yeah, it says on my menu, thin crust pizza, yeast-free, 100% whole wheat, thin crust pizza. So why would you complain the pizza has a thin crust if you ordered thin crust pizza? It wasn't what you're expecting, and you didn't take the time to read the menu. So again, 1 star for reading, for reading and comprehension. That guest gets 1 star. When you write a review that says the pizza was too thin crusted, and it says thin crust on the menu, like of course it's not going to be what you expect if you can't comprehend and you want something that's not that. So yeah, these people are the ones who are having problems. But now they internalize all this, and it ruins everybody's meal around them at the table. So now you have 4 people at the table that are that are being influenced by one person, because that one person's having a bad meal, and that rubs off and is contagious. So, did I freeze? I just got a message saying I froze. Oh no. I hope I did not freeze. Got a lot of viewers on this morning. We're up to 40 at one point. So yeah. So I kicked her out. I doubt she'll be back. Serena says, people have come out of quarantine and they have forgotten how to behave in public. 100%. A lot of people. That's not everybody. That's a general statement that applies to a lot of people, not everybody. I was in a Chamber of Commerce mixer the other day, and the one lady gets up and says, I have ADD. Like, I have not been in a public meeting for over a year. I've not been at this. So like, I'm overloaded. Like, I have ADD. Like it's just too much for me to be in a room with 65 other people and talking and this and that. She goes, like, COVID, like, really, like, kind of screwed. She was making a joke. Like, COVID kind of screwed me up being isolated at home. So okay. Everybody says I did not freeze. Okay, so I did not freeze. That's good. If I did freeze, it was your phone that froze. So it was not me. I'm good. I'm good. Good. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. So I went and sat with 2 other tables that were next to this lady last night. And I had 4 seniors at a table. And I love these ladies. They come in and they come to our beer dinners and they're great. One of them's going to Italy with us, with her granddaughter. And they go, you handled that so well. We saw from our table that her steak was medium rare. We saw. When you brought that steak out, we saw it was perfect medium rare. Good for you. Don't put up with her stuff. And then another table called me over and goes, there's too many seeds in my figs, joking around. There's too many seeds in my figs. Can you get the server over here and take some of these seeds out of my figs? Because they had the fig pizza. So they were joking around with it. Folks, Candace says it froze for a brief second. Okay, good. I'm all good. Awesome. So everybody, thanks for tuning in. Lots and lots of comments. Be nice to your local restaurant. Be kind. Be nice. Give them a chance. Um, you know, you go online, and if you've had a good experience at any restaurant lately, drop them a good review. Let them know. Drop them a good review. It's so much easier to write bad reviews sometimes, right? Because that just resonates so much, and you have a great review, great experience. And go on and just write a review from. I'm going to do it too. I'm going to find a restaurant that I just had a really good experience at, and go on and give them a good review. If you did not have a good experience at any restaurant you were just recently at, call and pick up and say, hey, you know what? Just want to let you guys know. I was just at a place recently where my panini had like 0 vegetables in it. It doesn't have 0, right? That's just an exaggeration because people exaggerate. It had way too little vegetables in it. I ate the panini. I was hungry. The line was too long. It wasn't full service. I went back up to get another beer. We were in upstate New York, and this place came with great reviews. And as I ordered a beer, I said to the waitress, I just wanted you to know, and I showed her my phone. I said, just want you to know. And she looked, and I saw her face, and she immediately got the manager. The manager comes over to her, and he's like, I'll take that off the bill. I said, it's not a big deal. I'm not going to go on and give you a bad review or this, that, but, this is what was in there, and I know it's not your fault. Somebody in the kitchen just happened not to follow the specs or not make a good judgment call, and he said, no, this is unacceptable, and I'll take it off your bill right now. I was like, well, great. He solved the problem for me. There's no reason for me to go online now and give them a bad review. But some people would take that situation, go online, and say, my panini didn't have enough vegetables. The lines were too long. I couldn't reorder. There's no wait staff, and give them a 1-star review. They would leave out the fact that they mentioned it to this manager, the server. They both were very attentive about it. They both apologized, said it was unacceptable, and then comped the meal. So that 1-star then really should move up to like a 3 or 4-star, right? Because they fixed the problem for you. They solved the problem. If a restaurant solves a problem for you, why would you go bash them or not include that to reflect the rating in the review that you're writing? You want it to reflect, hey, I mentioned it. They were super responsive. They fixed the problem right away. No questions asked, right? That right there is customer service, guest satisfaction. That right there is taking care of the guests and understanding. Because again, we're all human. We're all going to make a mistake. It's going to happen. If you think you're going to go to a restaurant for the rest of your life and they're not going to make a single mistake and you're going to get bent out of shape from it, you're living in fantasy land, total fantasy land. And if you are going to be that person who lies directly to their face and says everything was fine and then go online and bash them, then shame on you. That's your true character. That is your true character. So be conscious about that, especially now after post-pandemic, pre-pandemic, current pandemic, whatever phase we're in, whatever state you're in. Just be nice. Everybody is. So everybody, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. So Billy's saying, yeah, some people just like to bash, right? So it's just what many will complain but not compliment, right? Wally says, Marcus, sorry I have to deal with that customer. So everybody, thanks for tuning in. Thank you very much for tuning in. Had a couple of restaurant owners on here too this morning. That's awesome. So I gotta go out for my run. And I gotta go cater. Got to take the smoker to a location today. Taking the trailer smoker. We're doing shrimp, Cajun shrimp, smoked chicken. We got a bunch of stuff going on today. A lot of parties all weekend. And that's it, folks. Have an amazing day. If you're a school teacher, you had your last day, or your last day is today, or if it's close to this proximity, welcome to your summer. That's exciting for you. That's it. Thanks, folks, for tuning in. We really, Greg, I'm going out waitress bashing in 20 minutes. Greg, where are you going? Greg is funny. Greg's a friend. Greg jokes about everything. So my comment yesterday was, Greg posted, I get kicked out, but I love your soy sauce. Greg, you get kicked out because you're here at 1 a.m. in the morning. It's time to go. So everybody have an amazing day. And that's it. Talk to everybody later.